Lois, Chrissy, and Clark team up to piece together the significance of Smallville to Morgan Edge. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Superman and Lois, Episode 9. So, Episode 9 begins with Lois continuing the investigation into Edge and why he's really at Smallville. So, I thought this was really good, because this was kind of thrown throughout the whole episode, where we get to see her, and then she finally brings in Clark because he's a good reporter as well, and he's not coaching anymore. So he begins to help them out with finding out why Edge is still in Smallville when all the other places that Edge was at, he shut down like after just a month or two. And he's been in Smallville for quite a while longer than that. And while all this is going on, Edge is ramping up his recruitment drive. So he's trying to get more and more and more people from Smallville into this program so he can put Kryptonians minds into them. So we're going to really find out, I think, in the next couple of episodes what Kryptonite really is. Now, I have my own theories, but I don't want to spoil anything just in case if they're correct. And if they're not, I mean, then they were just theories. But I have a feeling I kind of know what the Kryptonite really is. But yeah, he really pitches this idea of your better self. And that gets people, especially, riled up because they think he's really trying to help them when he's not. He's actually preying on people who have, like financial difficulties or self-esteem difficulties, things like that. And that's what he really is doing, to get these people on board. Because otherwise, why would you, step up and be like, yeah, I want to try out this experimental thing that you're doing to people. Great, right? And it's, dude, it's good because he's really getting ready for, for basically what they've been talking about, war, and you really see him, especially when Lois goes in to confront him later on in the episode. You really see how, like, smug and confident he is, too, and he just doesn't care about Lois. In the meantime, Lois, Clark, and Chrissy have, they're still doing the montage. It's the wrong word, but, like, throughout the whole episode, they're going over all this. Trying to connect the dots. And I think it's really good because something happens to Clark, too, as he goes to Mexico to stop a robbery. So I thought that was very interesting. But what I kind of did like a little more about this episode was the Jordan and Sarah vibe that I got. They're getting closer. They're bonding over, more while they're getting ready for a talent show. But something happens to Jordan that he has to leave. And it kind of upsets Sarah. So I think this is going to be a setback for him, but he couldn't help it. Something happens to him, and, he's still trying to go and be there for Sarah because he's trying to be her friend, and help her out, even though he does have feelings for her. He does like her, but he's trying to just be that friend, that she needs right now. And if, something more comes of it, he's trying to, he's like, okay, cool, because he's trying to figure this out, because this is the first time I feel like in his, like, life he's been able to actually hang out with, like, people, because of his anxiety and all that. And Jonathan, of course, is trying to help him out. He's like, hey, dial it back a little bit, things like that. So I thought that was really, really good. And Jonathan, excuse me, in this is really good because he doesn't have to cover for his brother this time, but he does have to go and try to look for him. And really, at the end of this episode, we get a huge reveal. And it's when Lois's pager for Superman is pushed. and he has to go all the way out, as you see in this picture, to, it might be Arizona, so, someplace on Earth where he has to meet somebody, because he's like, well, I don't know who's pushing this button. And it's a huge reveal. And I feel like you could kind of see it coming a little bit, but at the same time, it was awesome. And I like this whole Kryptonian storyline. I feel like it's nicely woven into the show, and it helps that the plot has been not really slow, but it's been, how do I put it? It's been, it's been given to us in every episode so far. So in 9 episodes, we've gotten more and more of what's going on with the Kryptonians and Morgan Edge. So, and it's really kind of adding more and more to the context of the plot, I feel like. And I thought that was great. But I still really love the dynamic of the family in this. This whole show has leaned on family values, and even though Jonathan and Jordan have been kind of fighting back and forth almost like pretty much every episode, they're finally not doing that, especially in this episode, and I really like that. I actually like how they've dialed down on them getting into fights with each other. I think it's actually really, really good. The effects in this were good for the most part. The ice breath and and the sneezing from Jordan was really cool in this. But there were a couple of scenes that you could tell were green screen. Like in the beginning of the episode and at the end of the episode in this picture, you can kind of tell it's all shot in front of a green screen. And they're trying to make it look like it's not, so they changed the colors a little bit, as you can see right here, which doesn't really help, in my opinion, but still, it wasn't bad. I really did like the acting from Edge and Jordan in this episode, too. Lois was pretty good as well. It's just that Edge, again, he was so smug when she goes and confronts him about ramping up his recruitment drive, and it's just, and Leslie, too, she's just like, she's got the look on her face like, let me just delete her. And Edge is like, no, we're going to wait. And that's a bad thing. Whenever you have an opportunity to take somebody out, the bad guys never do. They love to monologue. I love it. That's been a cliche in every show ever made, I feel like. It was great. So this show has been a great surprise compared to the other CW shows. I mean, honestly, it has. It is a show that plays on, again, the ideals of family, and it has a solid mystery woven into it throughout each of the episodes as well. So I actually think that this show is fantastic because of the family dynamic. We do get to see Clark in this get emotional because he couldn't protect one of his sons from what happened. So I really feel like this is absolutely the best CW show that they've put out in a long time. And I mean, I used to love watching The Flash. And once that started going woke, I stopped. I think around the 5th, 6th season. It just, they all went downhill. And then the same thing with Supergirl and Batwoman. Oh my God, that is the worst show I've ever seen. It's god-awful. And then all of a sudden you get Superman and Lois, and it's like night and day. You're like, holy cow. How could they produce something this awesome, but then produce a whole bunch of garbage, and even their Powerpuff Girl live action show is gonna be garbage. I mean, in my opinion. There's a lot of videos out already about how the script got leaked for the first episode, the plot episode, or the pilot episode, I'm sorry. And it was trash. I was like, really? This is, I'm like, what is going on, with the CW? They get one good show, and then they produce a whole bunch of bad shows. It's like, what are you doing? So I really was very surprised about this show. This episode I would give a 8.5 out of 10, easily. This was a really great show, especially with everything that happens with Lana in this and her family, and with the Clark and his family, dude. This episode was great. I can't wait to see in a couple of days, the next episode. So if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe. Take care for now, everybody.